There we are.
It says the broadcast is live and running.
World champion. Behind me is music that they do not have the license to, but you are listening to the Potsy and Tino show.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, that was my favorite intros we have to the show because, yes, Dalton Kessel is correct. The music that was playing behind him, we do not have the licensing to. But with that said, our theme song, as always, is brought to you by Adam's House Cats, called the Wrestling Song. It's available on iTunes for 99 cents. And we apologize for missing out on last week. Tino has something he needs to say about that, I'm sure, when we do our little segment called What's Up With You?
I got a damn eyelash or something in my eye. It's aggravating me. Like, God, I can't. It's making my eye water. It's aggravating me.
Oh, Rob, I got something in my eye.
I can't see. No, we didn't get to do the show last week. So I had to prep. My daughter graduated from college on Friday, so we had last minute prep for and family coming in. So we had a lot of stuff to do last Thursday. So I told Robson, not gonna happen. So I had to do that.
Rob, we tried to do everything we could to make a show happen earlier.
Yeah, it just
wasn't possible.
It wasn't possible. So we're like, So we left. We left at like 7:15. No, it was like 8:15. We left early enough because we had to drive the girls to Greensboro because it was at the Greensboro Coliseum. So we got there. So not only did we run into graduation traffic, we also ran into just regular Greensboro rush hour traffic. So the graduation was supposed to start at 10, even though we were in town and ready to rock at 9, driving around trying to find a parking space. Nicole was, she's already like anxious. Oh, we're gonna miss. I'm like, we're not gonna miss. Oh. So I just pulled over in front of the college. I said, get out. I kicked her out of the car because she was stressing me. I'm like, get out. So her, my mom, and Matthew got out, and then I was cool. I drove around, calm, listen to radio. I mean, there's no need, and I knew it wasn't going to start because as I was driving, I still saw a whole bunch of cap and gowns walking around. I'm like, well, they're not going to start graduation without these. so I knew I'd be okay. So I found a parking space. I got in there, in plenty of time, and watched her walk. It was good. Afterwards, we. Everybody went and had dinner and drinks and just goofed off. Then came home Friday night, got up Saturday and had to get the house ready because we had her actual graduation party for friends who in this area here. And so that was good. Another anxious moment. Nicole had a meltdown. Well, not really a meltdown. She started So usually we go to Walmart. And Walmart, you can buy the 6-foot subs, and they're only like $45. Well, Monday, the Monday before, so last Monday, she ordered it. Said, "Hey, we're gonna pick these up. We need 3. We're gonna pick them up Saturday at noon." So I get there to pick up the subs, and I'm like, "Oh, we don't have the order. We don't have any subs in the refrigerator." And I'm like, "Excuse me, what?" And oh yeah, we're short staffed and my wife. I'm like, no.
So they didn't make
my wife did it, and she even said that they said if there's a problem, they will call. And then they magically found the order form, and they said, oh, right here, they called on the 5th, and at 3:05, and my wife's like, no, I didn't get a voicemail. Second of all, that's less than 24 hours. So I'm sitting there and I'm looking at her. The lady, and I'm only over here helping in the deli for lunch. She went and found another dude, and he goes, oh, well. I'm like, well.
Y'all got to make a 6-foot sandwich.
Can we make these sandwiches? Thank God we hadn't paid for them. We'd have paid for them. I'd have fucking blowing the place up. But we hadn't paid for it. You pay for them when you pick it up. So I'm like, can we make? Well, no, we don't have. No, that's a fucking deli. We're short staffed. So I called Nicole. I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. So we just went to Bojangles and got like 4 tailgate specials.
God damn, that's the way to go, dude. Like,
yeah, but because so the subs, they were in, it was like $50 a piece. So we got 3 of them. That's $1.50 after tax. You're looking at what, 180 somewhere in there, almost 200. I went to Bojangles and got the biggest tailgate. So it's like 20 pieces of chicken, right? You get 20 pieces of chicken, 10 biscuits, and 3 sides, and one of those 2 half-gallon those things of iced tea, right?
tea, yeah.
I got 4 of those. I spent $200. Like we had like almost 100 pieces of chicken, fucking
goddamn right
biscuits, had about all these sides and all this 8 things of tea. I'm like, fuck it, we came out better. So
I mean, that's the way to do it, bro.
Yeah, so we it ended up good, and then we still had our sides. Nicole made the cupcakes, and then friends came and we drank. I had a decent amount of adult beverage. What's cracking me up? So she had her, Haley's 23. So I was like, all the 20-year-olds are hanging out there. They're like, she's like, Dad, come drink. And they thought that they were going to get the old man. But see, I'm smarter than a 23-year-old. So earlier, I had already started. I drank my rum and coke, and I already had my shots in. Yeah, I already had my shots in. So by the time they were drinking like White Claw. They were drinking beer, right? So I'm like, all right. So I started drinking, Corona's my shit. Then they're like, let's do shots. I'm like, no, I already had shots because I'm smart enough to know liquor before beer. So I'd already done all my liquor. And so I drank them under the table in beer. And then one got sick. And like, and I'm still standing, and I'm telling 23-year-olds, chug that beer. And they're like, I can't. And one girl's like, I can't chug. And she drank and she put it down. I'm like, fucking drink that beer. So
one of your daughter's friends is always getting sick at those parties, by the way. Because I remember the Christmas party.
But that was my friend that got sick. That was Paul.
What?
The bald dude?
Yeah.
That was my friend. Yeah. He
oh,
knew
wow.
better. He knew better. But yeah, so I'm sitting out there drinking out drinking Haley's friends.
He seemed considerably younger than us.
Oh, I mean, he's still like early 30s, if that.
Oh, so he is younger than us.
Yeah, but no, but he's still way older than Haley and her friends. So that was it. And then I got up the next day, and then we chilled out, and then we did our youth group Sunday evening. Nicole was funny. She's like, I'm still trying to recover. She goes, I still feel hungover. Huh? My wife. Because she drank too. Yeah.
Jiminy crickets, man.
Well, no, not now. So Monday.
Sure. Yeah, Thursday, Friday, she's finally recovered.
Yeah, she's better. She's better now. But like Monday, a little bit Tuesday's like, But I think I had to fucking lick my liquor shits waited till like Tuesday because I had to go into work. Was it Tuesday or Monday? Might have been Monday. I had to go into work, man. It was like, all right, I worked all day, had lunch, and Nicole's like, hey, can you go pay my Macy's bill? I'm like, all right. So you know that feeling you get in your stomach, like, brrr. I'm like, no, I can make it to the mall, then I can make it home, right? And then I'll let it go there because I don't like going in public bathrooms. So I get to Macy's, I pay her bill, and then my stomach's like, hey.
Yeah. You got to run to the public restroom. Yeah.
I'm like, fuck. So I asked the lady, I'm like, where's the restroom? Thank God it was like right there. So I get there, and it's in Macy's. So there's like one of those, it's just, you can go in, close the door, and lock it. It's just one bathroom with a sink and a toilet. So I go to the men's room, and I'm knocking on the door, and it's locked, and I'm pulling on it, and someone's like, somebody's in here. And I looked to my left, and the women's room was open.
And you went in.
I went right in and locked the door, right? So I'm in there. I mean, it's one of those My belt wasn't even undone. I swear to God. I'm like, no. And as soon as I touched down, that was it, right? So I'm sitting there praying. I'm like, I just hope
walking in Memphis.
Yeah, I was just hoping, I'm like, Jesus, please don't let a woman have to go, right? So then I hear a woman's voice in the hall, and I hear somebody at the door. So I'm like, shit. So I like courtesy flush, so they knew that somebody was in there because I didn't want to go occupied and let them know there's a dude in there. So I got like courtesy flush. Then I heard a dude come
occupied.
Yeah. And I was also courtesy flushing, man, because it was rough. So I hear the lady talking and dude like, hey, you want to go in there? She goes, no, I'll wait. I'm like, fuck, she's gonna be out there. So I'm like, and I'm like, and this one, and I wipe and I go to get up. My son said, no, you're not done yet. I'm like, fuck, I sit back down. And finally, and I hear the man leave, and I hear the lady go, no, somebody, and she giggles. Another dude comes up and goes, you sure you want to go in? And she's like, no, I think this person, they just flushed. So I think they're about to come out. I'm like, no, bitch, I'm not. So, so finally, right, I hear that dude come out again. And then I hear her go, they laugh. She goes, okay, thank you. And then I hear the door close. I'm like, she went in. So I like washed my hands real quick, dried them off.
And you jump out. Yeah.
I opened the door and wasn't nobody there. And I zoomed the fuck out of there. I'm like, the next person who went in that bathroom, I feel sorry for. Yes, Barrett, I understand it's 2023, but you still don't want a big, bald black man coming in the women's room in the South. They'll call the cops on me.
I mean, you could totally say I classify as a black woman.
A black woman. But I hadn't shaved. So. But yeah, so it was funny. I told Nicole about it. She's like, you're not right. So
you know what? I gotta be honest with you. I've been there.
Right? I mean, sometimes you gotta go.
Dude, when it hits and it's the rumbly and the tumbly, and you're like, oh no. No.
No.
Exactly. You have, and you don't have any control over it. And luckily sometimes you get into the men's room, right? And you're like, okay. But every time you're in the men's room and that happens, it's hello, and it's like, motherfucker, I'm in here.
Yeah.
Like when you go to the women's room and you're in that dire situation where like someone was in the men's room, so you're like, I have to go. All you're hoping is that nobody looks at your pants. Like if it's a 2-stall bathroom, you don't want them looking at your pants. You don't want them like you're sitting there going, please just don't let anybody see me walk in or walk out. I'm doing everything I can to be as respectful as possible, but I need the toilet.
But and it was, even though it was like a one-person kind of bathroom, the acoustic, you could still hear outside the door. You remember when I was in your bathroom back right there? You remember that? You like,
yeah. And I was like, God damn!
That's what was going on in that damn bathroom. And so I'm trying to be quiet. I'm like, no, and flushing the toilet, trying to cover it up. So I knew one was coming, so I tried to flush it to cover it.
Oh, that's amazing, bro.
Horrible,
but
it's
amazing.
Funny now. It's funny now.
They're sitting there. You know what they're thinking? They're like, that bitch has like the devil in her.
Like, what that bitch eat?
They're thinking that bitch got the devil in her.
Yeah. And it was also one of those, man, where like I think we talked about it on this show, that your body seems to know when you're in a bathroom. It's like there's a toilet. I'm just gonna let it go now. No, bitch, you're not.
Yeah, before you even get the pants pulled down, it's like, no. Yeah.
Part of me was thanking God that I was in Macy's. I'm like, well, if I shit myself, I can. I'm in Macy's.
Yeah, I'm in Macy's. I can buy some fucking pants.
So, but everything I didn't have to.
It's hilarious.
Oh man.
So we missed last week.
Yeah, we missed last week because and
lots of shit happened. So folks, I just want to let you know that Tino and I actually did talk about trying to do a show last week, and I even thought about like logging in by myself to do a show because
The draft.
we figured last week was such a big week in the WWE. Because I joked with Tino that like the weeks that we always seem to miss are
Shit
like
happens.
the biggest weeks in pro wrestling. Like, for example, Vince McMahon
Came
comes
back.
back to the WWE. We missed that week somehow. Like, I don't know how we missed coming on to do the show that week, but we missed it. But anyway, this past week, the first week of the WWE draft being in place, we knew like there was a high probability we would not be on the air, and I really did think about trying to do the show by myself.
Well,
And
no, last night or this past Monday was the first full
it
thing,
was
right?
it
Yeah.
was, but we missed the pay-per-view and like the Bad Bunny pay-per-view and every like I mean we missed some good stuff.
Yeah, we missed good stuff.
And obviously we can talk about Bad Bunny and everything tonight, but we also missed some good stuff that happened in our lives, right? Like Haley graduating from college and everything. We missed that. Like we thought about trying to do the show earlier than we missed. But then we also like between the two of us, we also had some bad shit happen. And when I say bad shit happened, I lost my day job. I got laid off. And I'm currently in the process of looking for a new day job, and I've got I don't know, another month to try to find a job where I don't have to worry about like money or anything else. But I mean I have to look at that. But then some really cool shit happened. And I sent you the entire first issue of Zor tonight. I don't know if you've had a chance to read any of it.
Yeah, I read it.
But it has been sent to major publishers, so while Keen Spot has already said, yes, we'll publish it without a problem. I did look at like Image, I looked at IDW, I looked at Dark Horse. So I mean, I've sent it out to different publishers to try to get it picked up. But Tino, you got to read the first issue, and without giving too much away, I want you to give your opinion of what you thought.
It was a good read. It went by quick because I was getting into it. And the next thing I knew, it was over. I'm like, no, bitch. no, bitch. So, but it's going to be good, dude. Like I said, I don't know how much I can say and what I can't, but from the setup, the way you built the different characters, the backstories, like the father and the daughter. I like the way they were interspliced into it too, kind of thing. The farmer dude cracked my shit up. I can just hear him in my head, the way he talked real slow and country. I thought that I was trying to figure out, like I said, I don't want to give too much away, but how they would interact with each other, if you know what I'm saying. Because
I'm okay with you. I'm okay with you asking questions on here because I kind of assume that everybody here is going to buy a copy. So go ahead.
So will he ever talk, or how will he communicate with Dusty? You know what I mean?
So to answer that question, and I will go ahead and give everybody who is on this show and watching the answer. Zor does not speak. So he has to find a way to communicate in every aspect. And I even liked how the line that we used was, "Oh, I like charades."
I don't know if you, yeah.
And I almost added a second line of, "Oh, we're playing charades. I like charades," just so that way it would flow a little bit better. And we may go there, but but the character does not speak. So Zor, when he meets Dusty the Dust Farmer, who raises dust bunny, which I'm already thinking, like, if this becomes something more, right? Those dust bunnies are going to be like plush animals that people are going to want. Like, they're going to see the dust bunny and they're going to be like, I need a dust bunny. Like, that's just how it is, right? And even the flies, like,
Yeah.
there are
Noom.
um
Or nom noom.
yeah, the nom nom noms.
Nom nom nom.
Yeah, there are a group of uh, uh, the best way to describe them is that they're literally like fruit flies that go around throughout the issue, and they start stealing the dust bunnies. And my favorite sequence is when you see the one carrying off the dust bunny, and you just see like the look on the dust bunny, like, and I was literally talking to Michael, and I was like, should we make him saying like meep, like, but Tino, I've literally heard from multiple people at this point. And you just got to read it earlier tonight, like, so you haven't really had time to digest it. You literally got it like an hour ago.
Yeah.
The people that
read it again.
When I said like the whole issue, I sent it to Cliff Blazinski, who's got a new Image comic coming up called Scrapper next month. When I officially when I sent it to him, he literally sent back a message that said, "Hey, I want to let you know that I think this is the best thing you've ever written."
Oh, damn.
And I was like, wow. And he even said, and it's because it has mystery, it has intrigue, but the main thing that it has is heart.
Yeah. The scenes with the dad and the daughter. Yeah.
And like every time we've talked on the air, you and me talking to everybody else, Michael, Joe, Chris Barrett, everybody that's been listening to us talk about it, you've heard me talk about how like this is like it hits you, and I'm really impressed with how the first issue came about. Michael Adams, who is the artist of it, I'll say right now, if you find another project by him or another piece of art by him, buy it, and here's why. Michael Adams.
What was the other comic he had?
My book called Kung Fu
Kung Fu Lagoon.
Kung Fu Legume, which was 5 issues. Very difficult to find copies of. So go to keenspot.com, buy all the copies you can, because I'm about to tell you some real shit on this. Michael Adams, Kung Fu Legume, now has Richard Purcell, who was a writer on SpongeBob, attached to be the head writer and showrunner of a SpongeBob of a Kung Fu Legume cartoon.
That is awesome.
And when I say that there are very few copies of the comic book available, I am not bullshitting people here. So get your hands on copies, because if Nickelodeon ends up having a Kung Fu Legume cartoon, this is where everybody's going to make their money.
Wow.
Okay. On top of that, Michael and I talked to each other at San Diego Comic-Con last year, and he legitimately...
Whoa. Amber alert. Sorry. What'd you say?
Or something going on in the Raleigh market. Sorry, folks.
Did you get it too?
I did. Mine didn't have the sound. It buzzed. But my point to everybody out here is this: Michael and I talked to each other at San Diego Comic-Con last year, and this was before Richard Purcell had signed up to be a showrunner for a cartoon of Kung Fu Legume and everything else. But I talked to Michael and I was like, Michael, I'd really like to work with you on a project coming up. You know, like, whatever you want to do, like, you let me know, and I'll make time to sit there and work with you on it. And he was like super cool about it. He's like, yeah, you know, like we can do something, like I'll figure something out. We'll do it. And okay, cool. And you know, we kind of just sat on opposite sides of the booth. He was on one full side, I was on the other full side. So like we didn't really communicate a lot. We kept bullshitting back and forth when the night was over, and we talked to each other a little bit, and him and his wife were hanging out, and me and Billy from side quest were hanging out a little bit. But we kept having moments where like I was like, hey, you know, if you have anything, I'm totally available. I want to do more writing. I want to write something, whatever. And he literally was like, we'll totally do something. Right? Okay, cool. Whatever. So March 3rd, we're literally at like May 11th, right? March 3rd, he sits there and he goes, hey, were you serious about wanting to write something with me? And I'm like, yeah. And March 3rd, he sent me an image and he said, I want you to write this guy. And I was like, well, what's his story? Like, I can't just go, hey, let me write something. And he goes, well, I'm hoping that that's what you come up with, because I just drawing the guy. I really think that like he's fun to draw. So I've got two images, but if you got something, let's go ahead and run with it. And I was like, holy shit. Like, he just gave me an image and I got to come up with something. Right.
Right.
I'm like, how the fuck do I come up with something on this? And I literally, you know, back and forth for like 2 days with him, like back and forth. This is what I think. This is what he thinks. This is what I think on top of that. And before I knew it, I had 2 paragraphs that I sent to him. and he legitimately, after I sent him the 2 paragraphs, he sent back to me, he goes, fucking epic. And I was like, well, shit, I think I'm onto something. Right? So we're now just over 2 months after this idea was conceived. I don't know when he came up with that piece of artwork, but I know that 2 months, and when I say 2 months, like last week is when he sent me the full completed issue. So we're literally talking 2 months from the day that him and I talked about the idea. We had an entire first book. Tino, I've never had that happen. Every comic book I've ever written has taken at least 6 months of development time to get from point A to a full issue. And Michael and I came up with something literally within 2 months, and it's done. Not only is it done, but I have heard on multiple occasions now that it's the best thing I've written. And I don't know if it's because his direction based on the characters that he designed helped me get there, whatever the case might be. But all I can tell everybody reading this right now is that I firmly believe that as of right now, this is the best thing I've written. There's 2 more issues that are going to be created and written and drawn. It has now been sent to bigger publishers than Keenspot. Keenspot's already said, hey, we're willing to do it. But if you guys want to try to get a bigger publisher to do it, by all means, go out there, try to shoot your shot, get Image, get Dark Horse, get whomever to sit there and pick it up, because we know that if they pick it up, then we know that your other stuff is going to sell better because you guys have a project out with them. So I'm totally sitting there waiting on Image Comics to give us a reply. Their website basically says, yeah, we might not even reply to you, but expect something within a month. Okay, so we're waiting, but we know it's coming. This book will get made. Like, Michael and I are 100% firmly behind it. It's being created. First issue's 100% done. It's edited. It's ready to go. Like, I mean, it worst case scenario, we do a Kickstarter, and the whole thing there is that we're doing a Kickstarter so that way the creators can actually make some money off of it.
Mm-hmm.
Because making money off of comic books is very difficult these days. So doing a Kickstarter or something, we'll do that so that way Michael and I can actually make some money, and keep the lights on and shit like that. Because again, I recently lost my job, so being able to make money off of the comic book projects that I'm working on is very important right now. Anyways, so I'm extremely excited about that. Within the next week, I'm gonna start writing the second issue of Stonkered, which I've already talked to you guys a little bit about, which is the pro wrestling meets sci-fi book that I'm doing.
I'm ready for that.
Sean Cruz obviously is super excited about his appearance in the comic. I've talked to Eric, the artist who was the artist on Junior High Horrors, a little bit more, and he's totally down with letting us work with more local wrestlers, and even my buddy Sean the ref, so that the referee gets some play and everything else in it. So everywhere that you see those those referees, the wrestlers, anything else, they will all have a possibility of being a cover for the book, which will then help them at their own tables selling a cover of the comic with them as one of the characters in the comic book. I personally think so as much as people have told me that Zor is the best thing I've written, I really think that Stonker, the first issue of it, is one of the best things I've written, because as a lifelong pro wrestling fan, I really feel it has it has the heart and the drive that these professional wrestlers go through to try to get to the top of the mountain. I don't know if you read it, Tino?
Stonkered?
Yeah. So I did send it to Sean Cruz, and Sean Cruz was like, "Holy shit, dude, you nailed it." Which to me means a lot, because obviously I've never been in the ring, right? But being the fan that I am, and somebody that really does respect the industry as much as I do, hearing that is one of those things that really makes me think, oh wow, he truly trusts me with where that's going. Make sense?
Yep.
So, Tino, I don't want to continue this on any longer. I just wanted to go ahead and make sure that we talked a little bit about both of those stories, because Zor is going to be here before anybody knows it. I mean, literally, the first issue is done, so we could solicit it tomorrow, but we're waiting on a bigger publisher to sit there and determine whether or not it's something that we can get picked up by them. But Stonkard, Eric is currently finishing up his Psychotron #2 Kickstarter, and after he's done with that, he is jumping right in. The main character of Stonkard is going to look like Edge from Adam Copeland from WWE.
The old Edge or Skeletor Edge?
A little bit of both, because the story has some flashback moments. So regardless of that, but the story means a lot to me. It's fun. It's really driven. I'm excited about it. I can't describe it enough to you guys. Like I know that just about everybody here that's met me in real life, from Chris Barrett to Joe Lowe to Michael, every single one of them knows that I really dive into my properties. But I think that Stonkard is because I never actually got to be a pro wrestler, that I really try to dive into the mind and the development of what goes into being a pro wrestler. And I am super excited for the first issue when it finally comes about. But Eric and I will totally be doing a Kickstarter for that as well, because it's just one of those titles that it's great knowing that somebody that I worked on 15 issues of Junior High Horrors with is ready to jump into something brand new, and not necessarily all ages, but definitely something that anybody like Galaxy Quest can jump into. So, Tino, I told you that I wanted to have you off of here by 10 o'clock. We got 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and jump into wherever you want to go. Do you want to go into? Do you want to start with Monday Night Raw from this week because it's a new era?
Yeah, I think that'll be good. Yeah.
All right, let's jump on in. We got Monday Night Raw. They started the night with the two triple threat matches to determine who was going to be on the Raw side for the World Heavyweight Championship.
Did we doubt it was going to be Seth?
No. When it came to Seth, I totally saw that. The Cody one was a little bit different, and I liked where they went. I liked that they jumped right, that they kept going with the Brock versus Cody. That story hadn't been finished, if you ask me. The way that Cody beat Brock at the pay-per-view did not satisfy my urges as a pro wrestling fan that it was over. Am I wrong?
No. And Michael just said that Raw was okay, but he was thinking it was a little slow. And it was slow, but I was okay with it because it seemed like that they're rebuilding. So I think hopefully what they're doing is they're slowing down and taking more time to build rivals instead of to develop rivalries, instead of saying, okay, we got a pay-per-view in 2 weeks. Let's put these two together. We're going to hurry up, and then have the pay-per-view and then it's over. I think they're doing slow burns. I'm with you. I think I like the slow burn that they're doing with Cody and Brock, because at the pay-per-view it did seem like, Cody, that wasn't a normal win. It was like a roll up and it was over. You know what I mean? It wasn't definite. It wasn't nobody hit their finish to win that match kind of thing.
Now, when we talk about that, you watched the match, right?
Yeah.
So everybody says that Brock got split open the hard ways. I've rewatched this 4 times.
I think, and then when he hit the stairs, wasn't it?
No. It was when he went into the exposed turnbuckle, he was supposed to hit his head.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that I noticed about it was that he never actually hit his head.
So you think he cut himself?
I don't know. Because he went like this with that glove on and went like this, and all of a sudden, when he looked down again, he was busted wide. And it was right in between the 2 eyes, like right in that like crevice, you know, like
right in the bridge of his nose, right there.
But when I watched it back, he never hit that damn chain.
So is that where he was supposed to get busted? I thought it was when he hit this. I looked and saw he was busted. I didn't know that that's where he was supposed to get busted.
And I think when he went like this, there was something in his glove that actually.
But he would have, because he did a couple of open palm shots to Cody. Wouldn't Cody have gotten hit with that if there was something?
Not necessarily, because it could have been something where when he knew he was going in there, he then moved it or whatever. But when he went, because he went like this, but dude, I watched it. His face never hit. His face never hit that chain. So when he went like this, and he looked down, that's the only time that anything touched right here that could have busted him open.
I didn't know. See, I'll have to go back and watch that now and see. I didn't.
It's fucking crazy.
Okay.
But at the same time, I didn't like the end of that match. I thought it was bullshit that like Cody had to sit there and do that. The same end to a Brock Lesnar match that Bobby Lashley did and other people have done. I was very disappointed that that's where they went with it.
I think they're trying to build it. You know what I'm saying? I think it's a slow burn. I agree with you. I wish the ending was different, but I see why they did it that way.
Because they are doing a second match now, it makes more sense.
Yes.
But this whole finish the story shit, and then having Cody now having to go through Brock again, I don't think Cody gets like he did with Seth, where he goes 3-0 against him. I think he loses a match against Brock. And
so he might have 3. There might be, you know what I'm saying? He wins one, Brock wins one, then they have that rubber match, which makes sense because that keeps Cody out of the title picture. And that's what you were saying. They need to find a way to keep him out away from that title right now.
Interestingly enough, Cody being drafted to Raw, Roman being drafted to SmackDown, I've already said I think this means Cody wins the Rumble again. So it's highly probable that they continue to have Cody lose random matches. So you don't even think that he's really a real threat
contender
to Reigns. And then when he wins the Rumble and all of a sudden he shows up on Raw and he goes, I'm not going after Seth's title or Gunther's title or whoever's the Raw title holder at that point, and he goes, I'm going after Roman Reigns to finish the story. That's when you go, shit.
I'll be cool with that, but I think Roman needs to drop that belt for a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I don't think he should hold it all the way to WrestleMania. Let him drop it, win it back, and then let Cody fight. You know what I'm saying? I just don't see him holding that belt all the way to WrestleMania.
Except he's done it for 3 years now.
That's why I don't. So who knows?
Who knows?
Because even though he's back on SmackDown, he's still not on SmackDown every week. You know what I mean? So that I hate it. I'm still old school dude. You got to defend that belt every 30 days. And so if you're only coming back to defend that belt, though, it's, you know.
right?
What? You're cutting in and out. You there?
Everybody. Oh, are you
What
there?
you said? Yeah,
Are
you were cutting in and out.
So
I'm
were
here
you.
now.
So
No.
point is that like I think that and just to cut it down real quick, the World Heavyweight Championship is being created because Roman Reigns isn't on TV every week, and he isn't going to be on TV every week. Now, I don't think they're going to be able to call him the undisputed champion anymore, but they could still call him the Universal Champion going forward. You can't call him the undisputed champion because if you have a champion on both brands, there's not an undisputed champion. It's just, I mean, like the wording is just incorrect.
Yeah.
But I think that that's why you're going to see what happens. At the same time, I think that putting Edge on SmackDown, putting AJ Styles on SmackDown, and having both of them have an opportunity to win this new World Heavyweight Championship is an easy way to put them back on Monday Night Raw because.
And that was my next question. So if this is a belt that's supposed to stay on Raw, why are we having SmackDown guys fight for it too?
So the reason why is simple.
We know Seth's going to win it.
What's that?
We know Seth's going to win the whole damn thing. But anyway, what's your?
Don't know that Seth's going to win it. Although they did take the one true competitor that I thought was going to win it out of the ability to win it immediately, and that was Gunter. Because if they had put Gunter in it, and Gunter is undefeated right now, he would have had to lose to not be able to be in it, right? So what did they do? They didn't put him in there, and it's like, that's bullshit.
Well, he's got a belt, though.
So does Austin Theory.
Austin Theory's not going to win it, though.
But giving Austin Theory the opportunity to be the World Heavyweight Champion and not giving Gunter the champion the opportunity to win it is bullshit. They didn't put Gunter in that tournament because they knew he would have to lose, because they're either going to give it to Seth, or they're going to give it to AJ, or they're going to give it to Edge.
Seth. I'm calling it now.
I would say that you're correct on a 2-1 option there, where Seth is a 2-1 favorite over anybody else. But if I were them, you give it instant credibility. Seth is a good choice. AJ is a good choice. And Edge is a good choice. Any of those three guys, I can totally see being the first World Heavyweight Champion. So, anyways, that's where I am with that. Other stuff that happened on Monday Night Raw? Anything else you want to talk about?
Becky's back. That was fucking hilarious.
Go ahead. Talk about it.
First of all, the fact that Trish is backstage hanging up posters with Becky's face, missing posters, and she's wearing the fucking shirt and comes out. She does the whole, they play Becky's music and she looks all surprised. And then, oh, I got you. You guys are idiots. You should be saying, thank you, Trish. Blah, 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 blah. And then Becky's music hits the second time. And she's like, no, we've already done that. I've done that. And they did the whole, Becky's just standing behind her. And then Trish realizes it. And she's like, and she turns around. And Becky just fucks her up. But did you see the afterwards, where, because Becky started to do a promo and then her music hits and she just threw the mic down. And then she went backstage, it's a setup. She goes, who started my music? Who started my music? And the dude wouldn't turn around. And the other guy sold him out there pointing at him. She goes, oh, it was you. And she spun him around. He's like, oh, I'm sorry, Becky. I'm sorry. It won't happen again. She goes, no, it's okay. And she hits him with that damn the forearm. He falls in a chair, and she knocks him out. I'm like, that was staged, but it was still
Good
funny.
stuff. It's good
Yeah.
stuff. They definitely have.
Oh, Teddy's back.
Teddy trying to get his 3 seconds of fame during the show. It definitely plays into more of the Attitude Era stuff that was really popular back in the day.
Yeah,
you know.
and
So
Lita's just gone. So Lita just they didn't even like say anything. Just gone.
if I had to guess, I think they're playing up, trying to get to a Lita versus Trish final match at WrestleMania next year.
Or Lita maybe coming back and reffing the match with those two, and then maybe that leads to a Trish Lita final at WrestleMania.
Maybe, but I do think that like they've seen the regression in Lita's matches, and they're worried about that. And
yeah, because she's been off a step.
Yeah, but WWE has always been good about if we're bringing them back for a one-time deal, we can get them to show out. Stone Cold, 19 years not being in the ring, being able to put on a night one main event, right?
So, what do you think of the? What do you think of the team of the women's tag team?
What about it?
I think they're getting better. I think they're gelling more. I think they are becoming a team.
Who?
Liv and Raquel.
They are. And they weren't not gelling. They just weren't.
Well, you know what I mean. Their chemistry.
They just weren't excelling before.
And I think they were still something.
They still look like singles wrestlers being put together.
And they're starting to. When I say gel, they're starting to.
No, I agree, 100%.
Yeah.
I think that they know that that's going to be their role for a little while, and they've fully accepted it. I think that Liv is one of those wrestlers that she is just happy to be there.
Yeah.
Raquel wants to be a top player. So we'll see how that goes down.
But I think she knows she's got to eat shit before you know what I'm saying?
You got to eat shit and like it.
Yeah.
Before they sit there and they give you exactly what you think you've earned. And it's interesting because it's not just her. You look at so SmackDown last week had a match between Karrion Kross and Shinsuke Nakamura, and it was the last match before Shinsuke moved over to Raw, and Karrion Kross ate the pin 1, 2, 3, and it was like, wow.
Yeah.
This is a guy that was undefeated in NXT. When he came to Raw, Vince made him eat shit, right? But when he was in NXT, he was undefeated.
Yeah.
He never lost a match in NXT. His first night in WWE on Raw, he ended up 13 seconds losing to Jeff Hardy, right?
Yeah.
And he ate a pin against Shinsuke, and Shinsuke was going to the other brand. So you would have thought, based on previous history, that he would have beaten Shinsuke because Shinsuke would have eaten the pin, knowing that he was going to the other brand. But that's not.
It wouldn't have hurt Shinsuke.
And it wouldn't have hurt him. You're absolutely right. But instead, Shinsuke got the victory. And then Shinsuke goes immediately over to Raw and is the one pinned by Seth Rollins. So it's interesting. But I do think that Triple H has probably had a meeting with Karrion Kross and said, don't worry. We're going to start pushing you. And we're going to see where you go, right? Because there's no way that guy with that much talent is just going to be a jobber going forward. But getting jobbed to a guy who got traded to the other brand, to me, kind of looked like that's what it was.
And then I also like the other tag team, you boys, Kevin and Sammy. So they're backstage talking, and Imperium comes. It's Kevin Owens, man. It's Kevin. Kevin's like, we're talking. we're literally having a conversation. And he said, just so come back, and we'll come back. So he goes back to talking. He goes, and he didn't even look at him. He goes, they're still standing there, aren't they? Kevin Owens is so fucking hilarious. And then they walked off. He goes, and he says, General funny.
He says General funny.
Yeah, he says Ring General. He says General funny.
General.
But that whole little thing was comedy gold because of Kevin Owens. I mean, Sammy had it, but it was mostly Kevin.
Yeah, everything that they have done with the Sammy, Kevin, and even Matt Riddle has just been like gold.
Yes.
Gold. And we're not even talking like simple gold. Like this is like laugh out loud funny shit. Like it
was last week when Kevin was just sitting there talking to Riddle, and Sammy just walked up, gives up, where you been all day? Where you been? All day? Where you been? It's just and Riddle was just so oblivious to it. And Kevin's like, he's driving me crazy.
Well, Riddle even did that thing where he's like, so let me go ahead and say this, and Kevin Owens looked at him and said, no, no, you don't get to say anything right now. Like everything you say is garbage. I just want us to go out there and win this match.
What would have made that perfect if he would have gone, oh, like he did when if he said no, and Riddle would have gone, oh,
yeah,
that would have been it.
You're absolutely right. That would have added a whole new element of funny to it. Everything that those three have done, like when Sammy sat there and said, Riddle, I don't really want to hear it, and Riddle was like, no, let me explain. Everything that me and Randy went through is like what you and Kevin are going through right now. It was such a good allegory of everything that was going on between them that like Sammy had to sit there and go, wow, you're right. Thank you. Like, thank you for that. You know, it's like, holy shit, Riddle made sense.
Yeah.
So I was truly happy with all that. All right.
Trying to think what else.
No, I mean that's pretty much it.
Raw, yeah.
The only two things I really want to talk about NXT from last week are that Indy Hartwell had to drop the NXT Women's Championship.
A, she was going to Raw. B, she was hurt.
Well, we talked about it in the last episode that we did that there was no way that she was capable of
defending that belt.
Defending the title while having that injury. There was no way. She couldn't put weight on her ankle, and yeah, she got a lot of praise backstage for running back down and finishing the match. But she's gonna be on Raw, right? Because she got drafted. But she's probably, until she gets surgery on that ankle, she's probably going to be just
like a man.
Comic relief. You know, and hopefully it means that Johnny and Candice actually can start getting over on Raw the way that they did on NXT.
But they put the way back together. So they put the way back together. So hopefully that'll carry over like it did on NXT. It was awesome.
But I think that right now, until she's healthy,
mm-hmm.
she's not going to be wrestling. So she's just comic relief, which means her and Dexter are probably going to be comic relief while Johnny and Candice are trying to get over. And if you heard this Monday, Johnny sat there and said he should be coming back pretty soon
Yeah, I picked up on that. Are we thinking it's Champa?
It's got to be Ciampa because it's not
It's not,
Austin Theory,
no.
so it's got to be Ciampa, right? So when Ciampa comes back, don't be surprised if you immediately see DIY being put in a program against the tag team champions. However, that also means that DIY will have to turn heel because nobody right now is going to buy Kevin and Sammy as heels.
Unless they take those belts off them, which I don't know if they're going to. They're too keen to do that anytime soon.
I don't see them doing that, but I do see like a 5-month program between them and DIY being amazing fucking matches.
But I don't know if they're going to be ready to turn the way heel. I mean, they could.
They're going to. The way is already so folks. If you don't know who the way is, it's Johnny Gargano, Candice LeRae, Dexter Lumis, and Indy Hartwell, and it also included
Austin
Theory. But the fact is that like they were heels in NXT.
You were right. Yeah,
for the most part. Dexter wasn't, but they all were, right? So when Dexter became part of the group transitioned to a babyface group. When it comes to going against Kevin and Sammy, though, because they're going to want legitimate contenders for the tag team champions, like Ciampa coming in and Johnny working with them, like they immediately become, I would think, immediate contenders for those tag team champions.
Yeah, but was DIY heel? I can't remember if they were heel in NXT.
Maybe at the beginning, but they did become baby faces. Okay. But then remember, Ciampa ended up turning on Johnny, and Ciampa became the biggest heel.
All I know is when Ciampa comes back, I want that NXT music. That was his best music.
Yes. We all say that. And even if it's not the same music, I want something that's like a hybrid of that music, not the raw music that he had. No. So okay. NXT though. Indy had to drop the belt, which means there is a new women's world title tournament going on.
And right now, I'm thinking it's going to be Tiffany Stratton.
Well, a lot of people thought she was going to win the last time, right?
That's what so I'm thinking they're pushing her.
So she makes sense, especially when they immediately eliminate Gigi Dolan and characters like that you would have thought would have went far in a tournament, right?
Yeah, because JC Jane is next. I think they're wanting to push. They want to put the damn fucking rocket on her, and I don't agree. I think Gigi.
Well, I think those two are going to have the rocket strapped to each other. But remember, Gigi gets knocked out of the tournament, and JC's not even part of the finish there.
Yeah, I know.
So that's why I think that like they're going to continue to have that rocket strapped to the two of them, and just have their own story. While at the same time, I think that you're right. A Tiffany Stratton. I mean, at this point, I'd almost say that the most likely to win it should be Roxanne Perez, because
my two are either Tiffany Stratton, and we talked about this other Cora Jade. I think Cora Jade's is ready.
And the only reason why I even said Roxanne Perez in the same breath as the women's world title on NXT is because she never actually lost it. And when they took it away from her, she never should have lost it.
Yeah.
However, at this point, I think they look at her and go, she's not ready. And we can't just put it back on her, because then it admits that we made a mistake by taking it off her in the first place. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So, let's go ahead and move on. Oh wait. One other thing with NXT. Sorry. How do you feel about Carmelo Hayes being split in half? Because you know what I'm talking about.
I thought he was dead.
Braun Breaker
Braun didn't hold
literally
back.
made him look like he was in a car accident, bro.
And I don't know if Carmelo was expecting that, because it's almost like the look on his face as Braun was coming at him. And you're right, when Braun hit him, he folded like this and then went through the wall.
He folded like a grilled cheese sandwich. And I wish there was a better way to put it, but he folded like a grilled cheese sandwich.
Right now, you're frozen on my. I can hear you, but you're frozen on my screen like this.
I'm okay with that because I said grilled cheese sandwich.
I'm taking pictures.
No, it's fine. I don't know why that's the case, but holy shit, dude.
Yeah.
Braun Breaker, since becoming a heel in NXT, is immediately ready to move up to the next level.
What I was reading, that's why everybody was expecting him to move up, and the reason why he didn't is because they like this turn. They want to see where this is going to go. So I think he's going to spend a little time at NXT as a heel. So my next question is, in your opinion.
By the way, I just want to go ahead and stop you for a second and say that the Carolina Hurricanes are 2-2 in overtime against the New Jersey Devils right now. So continue.
Babyface, heel. Which Braun do you like better?
Heel.
Me too.
From day one when he came in, I was like, this guy is going to be a monster heel.
And that's usually how it works. You either got to be a monster face to be a better heel, or you got to be a heel, then you can go back to being a white hot baby face. The heel, the face was good, but this heel run, man, especially like I said, if he starts sprinkling in just a little bit, I'm not saying being a carbon copy of Scott, but if he sprinkles in some of those tendencies, he's going to be fucking phenomenal.
Oh, dude, let's be real. If that motherfucker actually were to bleach his fucking goatee and just have that black strip going down the center, like instantly, he could start calling himself Big Papa Pump. He could just call himself Papa.
See, I don't want him to go that far.
No. But if he were to do that with the goatee and just be like, I was talking to my Uncle Scott, and he told me that I need to stop listening to everybody and I need to start doing things my way.
Yeah, but
then go like this.
But you want to be careful.
But then go like this.
You want him to still be his own man. You don't want him leaning on the stunts. That's why I said sprinkle it in. You don't want, you know what I'm saying? You got to be careful with how you do that. You know what I'm saying? Because you still want him to be his own person, his own character.
Daddy or anything like that. But he wouldn't, but it wouldn't be against him to sit there and say, so for all you freaks out there.
Yeah, but he's still, like I said,
Hold on, let me just go. If he were to sit there and say, for all you freaks out there, this ain't a big bad booty daddy kind of thing. This is a big bad breaker kind of thing.
Says it once. Don't rely on that. You know what I'm saying?
And then you're right. Immediately after that, he would have to be his own man.
Yes.
But you do it once.
Yes.
Just to get that like moment, right? And then after that, like everything you do is reliant on
I'm trying to
heel-dom.
Is he still wearing the, I can't remember what he wrestled in. Is he back to just trunks, or is he still wearing the singlet?
He's still wearing the singlet.
So even I would be okay,
but
if he wore a white singlet.
Black. It's a fully black singlet now.
I'd be okay if once in a while he wore a white singlet.
You know what I'd be okay with, and I know you're not going to like this, but imagine if all of a sudden he sat there and gathered up all of the second generation superstars and created a new world order. Think about that. Having him, Dominic. Who else is a second generation?
He'd have to do that on when he got up, because they're not gonna bring Dominic down to NXT.
Oh no, you're not going to do it in NXT. But that isn't where I would do it. I would do it on the main roster. But think about that. I think
it's just him, Dominic, and Ava.
Well, so there's a couple, but there's more.
And what's his name with the damn forehead? The Beverly Brothers kid with the forehead, the Cro-Magnon dude. He's on NXT.
Yeah, I don't like him.
I'm waiting to see what they're gonna do with his.
He's like Horace Hogan. That's who he'd be in the NWO.
Wait to see. Oh, I forgot about Charlie Dempsey. That's not Bull Buchanan's kid. That's he's the Beverly Brothers kid. What is his fucking name? I can see his face. I forgot about Dempsey. So yeah,
I know what you're talking about. You're literally talking about Cro-Magnon guy.
Yeah,
I know who you're talking about.
No, I know
what I would do.
I know who Charlie Dempsey is, Barrett.
So you know who I would make the new NWO if I were to actually do this. Okay, and I'm being real here. I would make it. I would go Braun Breaker as your Hulk Hogan, right? He'd be the top guy in it. I would go Dominic Mysterio. I would do the tag team, the brothers from NXT.
The Creed brothers?
The Creed brothers.
They're not second generation.
Doesn't matter.
You were saying second generation.
Shut up. I'm just saying this is who I would do because you don't have enough second generation guys.
Okay.
Okay. Can I do it? Can I make Ava Raine? I would do her because she's obviously fourth generation. So she makes up for the fact that you don't have second generation of everybody else. And then I would do someone like Finn Balor as like the other guy in the group because he's already been part of a big time group that like, but that's what I would do. I
got one better. He is a second. He might be a third generation. He is right now part of a big time group. I would probably pull Solo Sikoa.
There you go. You know, and I wouldn't necessarily do the Usos or anybody else.
No, leave them. Solo Sikoa. I'm thinking young. Because the Usos has been. I'm thinking young. So yeah, I agree with you. The Creeds, Braun, Charlie Dempsey. You can say Charlie Dempsey. He's Regal's son. Creeds, because they're young, and keep it young.
But I mean, like I would literally have them all come up. And they would all come up separately.
Kick Chris Barrett.
Start making their way. And then all of a sudden, one night, two of them beat down somebody. Then two of them beat down somebody. Then two of them beat down. And before you know it, they all come out at one time. And they're like,
kick Chris Barrett out.
What do you say?
Dom is the new Virgil of the NWO. Kick him out. Kick him out.
By the way, Chris Barrett, he wasn't Virgil in the NWO. He was Vincent.
Yeah. He said, I feel like by putting Dempsey into the group, you get that kid who can actually go in the ring incredible. I agree with Chris Barrett.
I think that any of those people that we just mentioned, the Creed brothers, I think that the only one that I would be worried about would be Ava Raine right now because I mean he whatever. That's why I did it, Tino. I knew you were going to do it. So. Bill. She got fireworks for Bill teeth, but Michael Turner agrees. I do think when you're talking Charlie Dempsey,
Oh yeah,
when
dude.
you're talking, when you're like, but I would make it the Creed brothers. I would make it Braun Breaker. I would make it Charlie Dempsey and Solo Sikoa. Yeah, absolutely, dude. Like if we were booking tomorrow, those guys legitimately all working together could be a force to be reckoned with. And yeah, I like and now knowing that the WWE has created a new Latino world order,
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah,
which I don't know if it's awesome.
I enjoy it.
I think it played out its extensiveness on Saturday night by having Savio Vega and Carlito wearing LWO t-shirts.
Michael Turner said Kings win.
What's up?
Michael Turner just said Kings win twice.
Woo! Woo! I need to make sure that I see this. Yes, it does say that they won in overtime. Thank you, Michael Turner. Thank you for that. They move on to the Eastern Conference Finals for the third time in the team's career. So awesome job there. Fourth time in the career? Yeah, fourth time in the career.
Is it four?
Fourth, yeah, because the 2002, 2006 when they won, 2009
yeah.
now this year, yeah. So so fourth time in the history of the franchise. This is going to be big. And they actually hold home ice advantage throughout the rest of the playoffs because they were the number 2 seed and Boston's already been knocked out. So so big opportunity for the Carolina Hurricanes. Sorry, folks, I'm a big hockey fan, so I want to sit there and give them their due. But Tino, I can't stress enough that if the WWE really truly wanted to create a next generation NWO, like I think
Which I don't, and they probably won't because that wasn't a Vince thing. You know what I mean? He did that one of his Vince creations, so I don't.
Well,
it would probably be it would be an awesome faction. I don't know if they'll call it NWO.
I don't think that Triple H. I mean, the LWO I don't think was a Vince thing. I think it was Triple H going, okay, the Santos Escobar group wasn't getting over as well. So how do we help them get over? Oh, we have Rey Mysterio recreate the LWO and we put them all together and suddenly they are over, right? So and I like the Puerto Rican shirts, by the way, that they did where they were the red, white, and blue rather than the green, red, and white. At the same time, I think that they know that some of the stuff that they do, if they do it correctly, gets property over better. And with a guy like Braun Breaker or Charlie Dempsey being in charge of a group, calling it the NWO and actually saying this is the new world order, would be able to do that. And with Braun Breaker specifically at the charge of it, it really could. And you know, I know we're 10 minutes over what we said we were going to do, so I'm going to try to push this along because we have to get to Dynamite.
Well, let's do this.
So let's hit Dynamite. Orange Cassidy
and
Garcia had a hell of a match.
Who's he against?
Garcia,
yes.
And hell of a match.
Yeah.
Garcia owned almost the entire match, and surprisingly, Garcia owned almost the entire match. Like
because they're trying to play up the angle, the injury angle for Cassidy.
I'm tired of that.
Man, fucking Randy Orton's dad wore fucking cast on his arm for 50 years.
Right, but we knew it, and no one ever said that it was a detriment. He had a cast. If you tried to kick his cast, you just kicked concrete, basically. You know?
Yeah, you just don't like Orange Cassidy.
So here's my problem with that, and I like Orange Cassidy. I actually really enjoy watching his matches. I even enjoy watching his behind the scenes garbage where he's like, "Yeah, I'm really tired." You know,
That shit was funny.
I agree. I really enjoy watching all that. What I don't like is them sitting there going, "Okay, we have to make it look believable that these people have a chance of beating Orange Cassidy." Because again, this is a title that doesn't really mean shit. It hasn't meant anything since he got it. And yet he hasn't lost since August of last year. So why is it that like Wardlow could lose the TNT television championship or whatever the fuck they call it? He could lose that thing 3 times, but Orange Cassidy hasn't lost since August of last year. Like, and he has a busted hand right now. Why can't he lose?
Yeah.
Is he a pillar? He's not a pillar because we have a pillars match.
Okay. So
that's my whole feeling there. Really thought that the entire so they definitely pushed the entire Dynamite last night as a pay-per-view quality show.
Yes.
But then they had Anna Jay versus Julia Hart.
You didn't like that match?
It was okay. It was fine. I mean, it was probably Julia Hart's best match that she's ever had. But why is it on Dynamite, not Dark?
Because they're getting rid of Dark.
Why wasn't it on Rampage?
I don't know. Why does it matter? It was a good match.
It was fine.
No, it was a good match.
All right, I'll give you. It was a good match. Like I said, it was Julia Hart's probably best match she's ever had.
Even Michael Turner said it was a good match.
We had a trios match where
no witches allowed.
Where the one team didn't even know what the final stipulation was walking out to the match.
They had they had to make one.
Like, how bad is that, bro? No crazy witches are allowed at this match. What?
Well, because it's already a no DQ match. So I mean, you really couldn't. What other stipulation you gonna put up? No crazy witches.
And I love how Orange Cassidy was like, "Tell him, Chucky," and he's like, "Nope, nobody told me what the deal was." And you know what? That's the problem with AEW wrestling, is that I truly believe no one told Chucky T what to say there, and because of that, he was caught completely off guard.
It was great.
In WWE, no matter how much we hate all of the rewrites, all of the Vince McMahon scripting and everything else, do you think that anybody would have looked at you and said, I don't know what we're supposed to do here"? No. They would have been like, "We're gonna do this kind of match," and that would have been it.
But they rolled with it, and it was funny. You know what I'm saying? Yes, you're right. They should.
You know what the funniest part about that was fucking Tony Schiavone sitting there saying, "I wish somebody had told me that I shouldn't marry anybody that's a witch." Like, that was the best part of that.
You got to go home to your wife, your Italian wife. She's gonna fuck you up.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Is Tony Schiavone sitting there saying that? And then I think Excalibur actually said, "Tony, are you sure you want to say something here?" What the fuck, by the way, is up with Chris Jericho saying that he got an injunction against Adam Cole to where they cannot show up on the same program at the same time anymore? And Roderick Strong had to come out and go, "Hey, by the way, Chris, here, The
Well, that
JA
was because he knew that
also
he was
banned.
going to challenge him to a match, and he knew that if his boys weren't going to be there, and because Jericho said, "Well, I got an arm," and he goes, "Oh yeah, well, I got an injunction too." And the best part was Jericho was reading it, and Renee's just looking over his shoulder, grinning. Yep, it's all there. That was the best part,
But it's terrible.
dude. That was fucking hilarious.
Well, we know Roderick Strong isn't going to win that match.
No, but at least he won't have to worry about the JS. No, you're right, but it's now you got to see what shenanigans Jericho's going to do to win that match because his boys aren't there. You know what I mean?
Well, except he's just going to have somebody who's not part of the JAS come out there and help him. So it's probably going to be MJF or somebody because MJF obviously has Sammy Guevara's help right now.
No, I think that one's I think that's done. Now, the damn Four Pillars match is on. But somebody said the FTR and Lethal and
Jarrett.
Yeah, so he said that segment was great.
What'd you think of that?
I'm trying to figure out, are they trying to make Briscoe heel? Because every time you turn around, FTR is accidentally doing something to Briscoe and is making him, pushing him more and more to Jarrett and Lethal's side. I'm wondering if that's what they're.
At some point, he's gonna fuck them. I don't know if he'll fuck them out of the titles at this match.
Fuck who? FTR or
FTR. Yeah. I don't know if he'll fuck FTR out of the titles. I think he'll have to make the 3 count. But I do think that they're really trying to push him going to the Jarrett and Lethal team. I mean, I like how they were like, are they drinking White Lightning?
Read Chris Barrett's last statement. I think Chris Barrett's drinking White Lightning.
Jeff Jarrett and Lethal are the faces in this angle, and FTR. Chris Barrett, you're gonna have to explain that, and we're not putting you on the air to do it. So,
let's see.
Okay, dude. I just now saw the picture that you sent me.
That was on my screen for like 5 minutes. And you start talking again. I'm like, no, why are you still on my screen like this?
I'm like, that's just hilarious. Oh boy. This is what Chris Barrett said. He said,
it was Tito's. He hadn't answered yet.
It was Tito's. Oh, because you asked him if he was drinking White Lightning. And he said he's drinking Tito's vodka.
What else happened last night?
Well, I mean, like the main event.
Yeah, I was trying to wait till we got it. Moxley fought somebody. Oh, it was no. It was beginning of the night.
Claudio fought
Bandito, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't Bandito. It was Ray Phoenix.
Yes, and for the title, like if Phoenix would have won, he'd have got a future ROH championship.
Now
Claudio won. Now him and whoever gets the ROH tag title, which will probably be him.
I think one of the worst. I personally think it's one of the worst stipulations of a match ever. I hate the fact that if you win this match, you get this match. Bullshit. I hate that. We've always talked about how much we hate that in the WWE, where it's a championships contenders match, and yet all of a sudden AEW is now doing it, and it's like, that's fucking garbage. Now, with that said, what did you think of that match?
That match is fucking phenomenal.
You really liked it.
I like that match because Phoenix had the air game, had the whole lucha thing going, and I keep wanting to say Cesaro because that's how I know.
It's Cesaro, it's Claudio, but yeah, sure.
Claudio had the ground and pound, the European, the different styles just fucking went together. It was fast paced. I liked it.
I disagree. I feel if you rewatch the first 5 minutes of that, because that match was like 20 minutes long, which I did appreciate them giving it the time it deserved. I did not appreciate the fact that they that they started the show saying they're already in the ring, because someone like Claudio Castagnoli should be respected enough to get his entrance.
Well, they knew he was going to win, so he got his exit.
Well, but so...
And it changed his fucking music.
But now I want to go ahead and explain.
Why they changed his music?
No. I did not like the match.
Oh, shit.
And I won't go too deep into it, but...
Yeah, because...
It was slow. It really, like, when it picked up, it was great. But for like the first 8 minutes of like a 15-minute match, I was like, these two guys do not understand each other. And if you go back and you watch it, you can see multiple times where like they would go into the like Claudio would sit there and be running at Phoenix and slow down so that Phoenix could actually either explain what he's going to do or just do the move. And there was something missing. And it really reminded me of way back in the day when Chris Jericho had been away from WWE for a while, and all of a sudden he had the match like at Night of Champions or whatever against Dolph Ziggler, and the match just seemed like everything was a step off. And when it comes to Claudio, I don't normally get that. And here I really felt like Claudio was a step off. And I don't know if it was the language barrier or what the difference was between him and Ray Phoenix.
Yeah.
There was something wrong with the match. And this is why I asked you what you thought of it first. And you said you said you really enjoyed it. I do think that they caught up with each other and finished the match great. But the beginning of the match, the whole time they're like, something is wrong. Like they obviously did not have time to plan this match, and that's not the way that Claudio works.
Mm.
I mean, the commentary did everything they could to make it sound as good as possible, but there was definitely a misstep, and it wasn't just a misstep at the beginning, but it was a misstep for like half the match. And I don't normally call that kind of stuff out, but I'm glad you thought you liked the match, because if you go back and you watch it and you look for the missteps, you're gonna see them.
All right. And then we hit the
let's
main event and the swerve at the end. Did you see that coming?
You did. You saw it coming weeks ago. You called it. You said, when I said, well, Don Callis has that big mark on his head now, and you were like, but was it purposeful, or is he gonna turn on them? And I was like, and what did I say? I said, no, Don Callis isn't gonna turn on Kenny Omega, blah blah blah. But then you made a compelling argument, Tino, where you said, now that they don't have William Regal, the Blackpool Combat Club is missing something. And I don't think that they're missing something, but that doesn't mean they can't gain something.
Yeah.
So while I didn't agree with you at the time, and by the way, that scar on Don Callis
is still there. Like, God.
I don't know if they put that on with makeup or what, but that shit looks real as fuck.
I think it's real.
I think it's real too. And I think So let me ask this: do you think that means that Don Callis now aligned with the the Combat Club, the Blackpool Combat Club, or do you think this is just dissension in the elite?
No, I don't think he's with the elite anymore. So I think he's going to go to. I can see him going and being the mouthpiece for the Combat Club.
Well, because if you listen to Bryan Danielson like literally said to the commentary team, he said, "I had no idea this was coming, but I'm happy." Like, so it doesn't necessarily sound like it is he's joining the Blackpool Combat Club. It literally sounds more like it's dissension in the elite status.
But why this? It's only him that turned. You know what I mean?
Well, we don't know that. What if all of a sudden Michael Nakazawa and Brandon, whatever his fucking name is, decide that they're going to join Don Callis? And because let's be real, Kenny and the Bucks can literally have matches against Broomstick.
Yeah, but who gives a fuck?
I don't like them. Don't get me wrong. We don't like them. But they can have matches against Broomsticks.
Yeah, but who gives a fuck about Tawazaga and Brandon Cutler?
I mean, what if all of a sudden they sat there and started feeling underappreciated?
Brandon, I'm saying is who's scared of them? They're not going to win any matches.
Yes, Brandon Jabroni.
You're
absolutely right. But what if that was the case? What if all of a sudden they decided they're going to be at the lower side of the card because it just gets them on TV every week and they get to continue to be over the way that they are, whatever the case might be. I don't know. But I mean, like, having Don Callis join the Blackpool Combat Club really doesn't make sense. Not saying it won't happen, by the way. I anticipate it is the plan. He's taking the William Regal role. But
and I agree with Barrett. I thought he stabbed that bitch in the eye too. The way he came across his, like, where did he stab him in the face? I thought he got him in the eye.
Yeah, and then they showed the ketchup on Kenny.
Yeah,
just randomly, like right in the middle of his head.
My favorite though, when we knew it was going to happen, when your boy Moxley finally got busted open, and then he started fighting, and somebody said, "Yeah, he doesn't wake up till he gets busted open." Who said that on commentary?
I don't know who said it, but I'll say this: while I was watching it, I was sitting with Terrence, and Terrence said, "Oh, a brisk wind must have happened because Moxley's busted open," and I was like, "God damn." A brisk wind must have happened because Moxley's busted open. Holy shit! Yes, that was exactly what happened. You know, like I mean, his face is literally silly putty at this point. Like you just you just go like that to his skin, and you're gonna get blood out from the other side. It's fucking ridiculous. I am a little compelled to figure out where this story's going. But if all of a sudden Don Callis is now part of the Blackpool Combat Club, I really think they have to sell me on that because it was just 3 weeks ago or whatever that John Moxley beat the shit out of Don Callis and busted him open to where he now has a legitimate scar on his forehead.
And maybe that's what woke him up.
I mean, maybe, but it's not a good enough story. I need more.
Yeah.
Like, you're talking 30 years of Kenny Omega's life, this guy calling him like a father figure.
And that might be how they work it too. Like, I'm tired of blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, maybe. I don't know.
All right. Well,
do you feel that's enough?
Depends on how they do it.
Okay.
Maybe he doesn't feel appreciated. You know what I mean? Maybe he feels.
And that I'm okay with. I'm okay with the underappreciated Don Callis, knowing what he did to get Kenny Omega to where he is as a star and blah, blah, blah. But I really feel that would have been a better
Because
I would have felt that that's a better story for Kenny Omega and Chris Jericho.
2, as he was leaving the ring last night, I don't know if he was in Omega's face pointing at Scar saying "did." So maybe he blames Omega for not protecting him or not being there when he got jumped.
Maybe, but I also saw the moment where like he obviously jabbed the screwdriver into his head the first time, but then when given the option of doing it a second time, he did not do it.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's a lot of story there. The unfortunate thing, and Tino, you can probably agree with me on this, is that it's Kenny Omega, so we really don't care.
Yeah. And there's that.
We really don't care. So,
Right.
You got anything else?
No.
Anything you expect tomorrow night on SmackDown?
Roman's coming back, so I'm waiting. I'm expecting. I think the Usos are going to get kicked out. I think we're finally going to see him sick. I almost called him Umaga. He's going to sick Solo on him. I think.
I almost agree. I think that he's going to have them do one last task, and if they can't fulfill that task, that's going to be what gets them kicked out.
They've had too many one last task. I think when they at the pay-per-view dedicated that match and lost, I think that was it. I really think I think they're done tomorrow.
You could be right. I mentioned obviously that I've been laid off by my job. I do have a job interview on Wednesday next week.
Wait, I didn't hear this. Where? With who?
I can't even pronounce the name of the company. It's like BioAgilitics. But I could use the entire Potsy and Tino Nation thinking good thoughts to try to get me.
What is it for?
Project management.
Oh, sweet.
So yeah. I've sent out 120 applications and gotten 15 rejections, but this is the first one that was like, yes, we'd like to set up an interview with you. So I was like,
is it at home or?
No, I'd probably have to go into the job, but they have labs both in Durham and Morrisville, so I mean it's not too far away from home.
Sweet.
Yeah, and then I also have a recruiter actually looking for specific things for me. So there's a good probability that I could be placed pretty quickly. Last thing I'll say before we hop off of here, Tino, is that anybody that knows me knows that I'm a huge fan of Picard season 3, right? Like I've talked about it multiple times.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the showrunner, Terry Metalis, is going to be at Raleigh GalaxyCon at the end of July. So when I noticed that he got announced for it, I posted on Twitter that I would buy the first round of drinks if he came out with me, as long as he brought Todd Stashwick, who played Captain Ian Shaw in the same season, right? Now, at one point during the season, Todd Stashwick's character is called a dipshit from Chicago, right? So I specifically mentioned, I said, hey, Terry Metalis, just so you know, now that I know that you're going to be in Raleigh from July 27th through 30th, I will buy the first round of drinks as long as you guarantee that the dipshit from Chicago will be there too. Okay? Todd Stashwick, who is the dipshit from Chicago, responded to my tweet saying, I will be there too.
Nice.
So I sent it to my buddy Jason, who is another Star Trek fan, and he's like, "How the fuck did you get them to respond to you?" And I was like, "I just sent a message, and they both responded. Like, there we go." And he's like, "All right, well, let me know when it's happening because I want to be there too." Because obviously, I'm trying to get them to go out to Side Quest, which is my buddy Billy's bar, which is a video game and tabletop gaming bar. And interestingly enough, Todd Stashwick, who plays Captain Ian Shaw, is also a D&D player. So kind of makes sense to try to get him to go to that bar that night. So I'll be working on that for the next couple months, it seems.
All right.
But with that said, Tino, I got nothing else. I know that I kept you longer than you wanted to. I apologize for that. It was a good show, though.
I'm going to bed.
It was a good show.
Okay, I'm going to bed, though.
I admit it was a good show.
It was a good show. I'm about to hang up on you.
No, you're not. You're going to go ahead and tell everybody how to reach you.
Do you know better than tell me what I'm not going to do?
You're gonna tell everybody how to reach you first.
All right. You catch me on the Twitter at HoodieFan91. The Instagram, I'm SC Tino. On the Twitter, we're Potsy and Tino. Facebook's the Potsy and Tino Show. You can find us each and every week right here on the Pots and Pan Networks. On the YouTube, please give us a thumbs up, subscribe, and buy our shit. Your turn.
You got any gigs this weekend?
I'm heading to Hickory on Saturday.
Where are you playing it?
Same place I play every time I play Hickory. It's called Windy City Sundries.
Windy City what?
Sundries.
Sundries.
Just call it Sundries for short.
So, folks, if you are in Hickory, go ahead and check that out. Tino is always a good time. You can follow me on Instagram at Rob Pochak or Rob Potsy Pochak. You can follow me on TikTok at Rob Potsy Pochak. You can follow me on Twitter at Pochak. You can follow me on Facebook at Rob Pochak. YouTube right here, Rob Pochak. And I think that's everything. So with that, Tino, I think if you look off into the sunset, there might be somebody out there that is saying, "Ooh, yeah," or something. But
yeah.